Hey everyone, Joel Johnstone here, coming to you from Shining Empathy. Today I wanted to talk about grounding. I find this to be just as important, if not more important, than what I've discussed previously, which is protection from like darker entities, and just we'll get into clearing eventually as well. But grounding, I'll tell you kind of what that is and why it's important. So grounding is the act of taking the energy and moving our consciousness and our energy down into our bodies and even down into the earth. The general kind of idea with most people is that we all kind of pull our energy up, and that's a self-defense mechanism. The first time that we ever don't feel safe in this world, in our bodies, we adopt a defense mechanism, an energetic defense. And it's just a way that we move the energy, push, pull, up, down. And most of us adopt the up and out, which is literally, I don't feel safe here, I need to get out, so we just pull it right up and out, and we kind of spend most of our time from that point on in our lives sort of up in our heads and up in the crown chakra area. As a result of that, our energy kind of gets locked at about the throat. We don't really go down much further than that because we don't feel like it's safe. So because we spend all our time in the crown chakra, what's kind of cool about that is that we end up with these very large open crown chakras, which leaves us very open to spiritual realms, thoughts, concepts. It's why a lot of people who are in this situation tend to gravitate towards spiritual concepts, ideas, Buddhism, yoga, anything of the like that connects to their spirituality as a concept in particular. The problem is that they feel like this is their way of like kind of healing themselves, something that they can gravitate to, belong to. It doesn't really serve them in terms of what's going on with them energetically. I've even seen some yoga instructors who the entire class are instructing people to move the energy up the body, up the crown, through the crown of the head and out. And all that does is reinforce and exacerbate the problem that's already there with a lot of people, which is we're just constantly moving the energy up and our consciousness is all up here. What we need to do is just figure out how we can move the energy down. So there's different ways we can do this. Number one, if you're a visual person, this might work for you, and it's literally a visualization exercise. Now, I'm not going to do this like a guided meditation video or anything like that, but I'm just going to kind of tell you what you would do. So you'd close your eyes and get relaxed. Take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep the eyes closed. And what you'd do is you'd visualize either roots or a column coming down out of your spine, out of the base of your spine. And out of your feet even, roots all the way down into the earth. Keep seeing them going all the way down until you literally hit the center of the earth. I like to see the center of the earth sort of as a little miniature sun. So if in my mind's eye, when I'm sitting here in this chair, I actually see a glass floor and I'm looking down at a miniature sun in the center of the earth. And I make a connection to that, so there's nothing really obstructing me, but I know I'm connected to the center of the earth. Now, what you do from there, and this is also a bit of a clearing exercise, is you'd instruct all the foreign energy in your body, all the kind of pockets of really low vibrational stuff, to move down through the spine, down the roots or the column or whatever it is you created, and down into the earth's core to be transformed into some kind of a higher energy. So I'll actually see all these little pockets of like dark kind of gray or murky kind of tones all conglomerating together and coming together to go down the column. And when I see it hit the core, I'll sort of see these it'll sort of give off radiation of like white light or something. So in my mind, that's it transforming into higher energies. We're not actually controlling necessarily that it's being transformed. That's our way of saying I acknowledge that the earth, and I trust that the earth is transforming these energies into something better and something greater, and the more healing energies. So that's one way to do it. And again, there's all kinds of different visualization exercises that essentially do the same thing. Now, for people who aren't very visual or have a really hard time holding visualizations like that in your mind and believing that they're working, it tends to just kind of evaporate on them really quick. Something else you can do, and what I like to do, especially in a given moment, if I'm, say, having an anxiety attack, or I just am feeling not grounded, kind of like sort of surreal, all kinds of different symptoms of not feeling grounded, but if I just need it in a moment really quick. Visualization doesn't necessarily work. You really have to take the time and go through that, and maybe maybe you're not able to do that. So this one's called Come to Your Senses. And that really forces us to come into our bodies and experience the now. And that's partly what grounding does too, is it really brings us into the now. Human beings are actually terrific time travelers. We spend so much of our time mulling things over in the past, repeating it in our minds over and over again, but we're literally spending all of our time in the past there. And then there's the other aspect where we're forecasting, or we're predicting something that will happen in the future, either from a place of fear, or something that we fear will come true, or something that we want to come true, but we're playing that over and over again in our minds. And especially when it comes from a place of fear, we're really feeding a certain reality to our future. But we're spending all of our time there in the future, so we're never really spending the time here and now, where we kind of really should be, where we can really lend our energy and our light and our consciousness to this moment and to everyone and everything around us. It also, when we come into the now, our energy and our consciousness is centered in our bodies, and our bodies can feed off of that better. We're literally giving our bodies the energy that it needs to be healthy. So with this exercise, Come to Your Senses, you literally go through your senses one by one. So start with visual. So you look around you in the room or wherever you are, and you start listing things either out loud or in your mind what you're seeing. And you grab onto one thing and you look at it and you just say what it is. And if you want, you can even go into detail about what it looks like, maybe with the color of it, what the texture kind of looks like, if it's made of paper or if it's something solid like a rock. Just go into detail and just go over different things that you're looking at right around you. Then go to your next sense. Go to sound. What is it I'm hearing? So the first things that jump out at us are usually the things in the foreground, the things that are most obvious, like maybe you hear the wind, or maybe you hear sirens, cars, people talking. But really kind of strain and extend out with your hearing and listen for all the subtle things. And that's really getting into that sense. And then move into smell. Do the same thing there. Taste, if you have a beverage or food or something that you can really get into. Talk about the flavors that you're experiencing, where on the tongue it kind of hits you, the textures, stuff like that. And then with touch. So maybe the fabric on your shirt or your pants, kind of really touch that and describe how that kind of feels. Maybe the surface of something like a desk or the floor, a rock, something that's really solid. Whatever it is that's around you, you can utilize. By the time you cycle through all of your senses, I can pretty much guarantee that you're going to feel calmer, more peaceful, probably safer, and just more present in your body and in this moment. And if you need to cycle through a few times, okay, then that's what you need to do. But I find that to be one of the most useful on-the-spot exercises to really ground yourself in your body and in the present moment. And that is the act of bringing the energy down instead of shooting up. The other way you can do this, and this is one of the most obvious that a lot of us really neglect, and myself, I'm no exception, is just literally taking off your shoes and going for a walk or just standing on the earth, making that connection to the earth. You don't have to do anything beyond that, because the body and the earth know exactly what to do for each other there. It's a relationship. And when you take your shoes off and you make that solid connection, the energy just knows what to do, and you come down into your body, and what's not needed goes down into the earth. You can do this by extension through touching a tree if you needed to, because the roots of the tree are great for really just being spread out and allowing the energy to just pass through the tree really quickly. Exercises like even just going out for a walk in nature, a bike ride, just being outside in the elements can be grounding exercises unto themselves, but nothing really beats bare feet on the earth, standing there and just letting it happen, because you don't have to do anything in that moment. That is something, though, that we have to take the time to do. So the other exercise previously, the come to your senses one, really works well if you're in a situation where you can't just take off your shoes and make a connection to the earth. Maybe you're in an office building or something. It works really great in those just on the spot situations. But if you can take the time and go and make that connection to the earth, take your shoes off and make that connection, that will probably be one of the most beneficial ways of grounding. I hope this video helps. I hope you make a connection or associate with one of those methods. There are tons of different ones out there, so if none of these work for you, please feel free to go ahead and search out something that does work for you. But this is something that we all need to practice more often because it's important for being present and it's important for our health as well. So looking forward to talking about different subjects in the future with you. And if you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shining Empathy. And I will see you guys later. Cheers for now.